Thank you for tuning in to Tanakh TV, the best and future biggest fight channel on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, that comment, that subscribe button, people. We're trying to get this channel to over 2K subs by the end of the year. Right now, we're sitting a little bit over 1.1K subs. So we can get to 2K, but we can't do that without you. So thank you for those who support this channel, and thank you for those who will support this channel in the future. I truly, truly appreciate it. Now, before we get into this topic, before we dive deep, I would like to set the stage of me saying I'm trying to be as sensible, understanding, open, and logical as possible on this subject. It took me a while to come out with a video on this because I wanted to hit all those aspects. I wanted to feel like I was secure in my opinion on this subject. Now, some of you, I think a lot of you, have been hearing the noise that the Olympic boxing world, especially in the women's division, has been making. It's been making a lot of outrage, people, because there is a boxer who goes by the name of Imane Khelif. She's a woman boxer, and she's been setting outrage, people, because after she beat Angelina Carini in less than a minute, people, she hit her with a very strong shot to Angela's nose in less than a minute, and after that shot, she threw in the white flag, and the fight was over. Now, why are people so upset? Because there has been news that Imane, the one who won, has XY chromosome. Now, for those who are not biology majors, I'm not a biology major, okay? But for those who aren't knowledgeable in biology and who you know, when you were in high school or middle school learning about this, you took a nap. So, girls have XX chromosome. Boys have XY chromosome. Now, like I said, Imane Khelif, who is a woman, has XY chromosome. Now, that might be pretty confusing to you, right? And understandably, like I said, I'm trying to be very logical about this. There is a syndrome called the Swyer syndrome that women can be born with the XY chromosome, which, like I said, boys carry. But despite having the XY chromosome, you have all the tools that a woman has. Usually, you know, they have a uterus and fallopian tubes, and their gonads, which are the ovaries or the testes, are not functional, which deems them to be women. It's just the tools that they're rocking aren't functioning. So now that that's out of the way, now that I set the stage for that, because I've been seeing a lot of people calling her an it and calling her a man, and she shouldn't be fighting women. You do understand that she is not winning all her fights. I would understand if she was 50-0 and crushing everybody she fought, and there was an obvious, blatant physical advantage. But there's not. And she was born a woman. It's on her passport. It's on her birth certificate. And people are saying, okay, well, she has an elevated amount of testosterone. Sometimes people just have more testosterone. When you look at men, we are not all born equal. Some men are born with extremely low levels of testosterone. Some are born with extremely high levels of testosterone. It really just comes down to person by person. Now, for me, the thing that's kind of the pullback for me is how much testosterone was in her system, and was it enough to be over the limit? Now, if she has a high amount of testosterone, but it's still within the limit, then by all means go off. And you have to understand where it comes from. If she was pumping TRT into her system, then that's one thing. But if it's not, and like I said, if it's still within the legal boundaries of how much testosterone you can have, then go for it. But if you look at other athletes who aren't even in this situation, but they have a higher level of testosterone, like maybe if you would say the Venus and Serena Williams, they have a higher level of testosterone most likely. And I get it. This is a combat sport, so we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful. And when I first heard about this story, I was like, okay, well, this is another situation where it's a man who transitioned into a woman and she's now fighting women and she's crushing everybody because this woman who was once a man still carries the frame of a man. Carried the frame of a man for who knows how long, for 20 years, 25 years. Whenever they made that transition, they carried the male frame, therefore making them stronger. No matter what you do, and I get it, there are a lot of things that you can do in order to become a woman or to become a man. I get all that. However, there are things that are extremely hard to prevent. And the big thing for me is frame. But this is not that situation, right? This is not that type of conversation. And so a lot of people are saying, oh, well, you know, she failed certain tests. She, as in, I'm talking about Imane still. She failed certain tests. Do you realize that her tests that she failed were by third-party laboratories and they're not being disclosed? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense because in any other professional sport, that doesn't happen. If you look at the UFC, you look at basketball, football, anything you want to look at, you're being tested by whoever they designate to be that corporation, that entity's primary testing pool. This wasn't that case. So she might have failed, but let's see the results. Who tested? You got to look at that. That's important here, people. It's very, very important. So, what's my overall opinion on this? I think that she should be allowed to fight, despite her having XY chromosome. She just has an unfortunate syndrome that, and when I mean unfortunate, I say unfortunate because it's causing so much problems as of recently for her boxing career. And it's tainting the fact that she is being successful in the Olympics. Now, mind you, she's lost. Like I said, multiple times. She's not by far considered a dominant fighter. So for me, I'm okay with it. This is not this type of situations that I've disagreed with in the past, as I've previously explained in this video. Comment down below, people, what your thoughts are on this situation. Should she have been allowed to fight? Should she not have been allowed to fight? And I think that we can have a very mature conversation here, people. We can have disagreements or agreements without being children about this, without being ignorant, okay? Let's talk about it. So, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.